Well, good afternoon, everyone. This should be the sixth session we are going to have, and we need to complete this topic, the remaining part, quickly. So it's about location planning, facility location. So it's about selecting the most appropriate geographical places to locate your operations facilities, business locations, and operations locations in a way that operations activities can be smoothly done in a way that the organization have a locational advantage for the operations for the business. But we call it location advantage. Location advantages. Like what? We should be able to manage our operations smoothly because of the location. Like we can easily bring the materials required. Easily find the suppliers close by. Right? We have enough space so that we can produce, we can have the spacious buildings, spacious facilities to start production smoothly. And then, of course, we should be able to easily find the workers, and especially at low cost, we should be able to find workers in that area if we need more workers. So, with a place surrounded by such people, or do we have some other advantages like maybe infrastructure facilities, government support, or any other industry support? Such facilities are available, that location would be preferred. That has a location advantage. And at the same time, whether we can deliver our products to the market quickly from this location, so that we can quickly supply to the market. Such location advantages are expected, right? So beyond that, we identified not only within a country one site, one or two sites, location problems or location issues have now become global. In the sense, not only within the country, now assume that within the region, like South Asian region, there are different countries. Now selecting a country to operate from, it's also a location problem. Whether to operate from Sri Lanka, or Bangladesh, or Pakistan, or from India. Right? So it's a kind of regional issue now for most of the businesses. So they have to evaluate not only particular sites, but countries, communities, and select the best communities. And beyond that, we identify not only within the region, there are other regions in the world, other continents. So global businesses may compare different regions, South Asian region, Southeast Asian region, Middle East region, African region, Europe, US, so likewise different regions based on some criteria, and select appropriate regions, and then within a region a country, and within a country one or two sites. So location problems, location strategy is to select the most suitable locations, right? And we understood factors relevant for each industry, each business can be different. So we consider them as location factors. We identified what location factors should be considered for site selection, community selection, and then of course at global level regional selection. Have a quick look on those factors and check whether you can understand it. And then we can quickly move to the remaining part. As I can remember, beyond that we discussed what are the techniques available for location selection, and especially these different techniques I showed you, and we discussed one of them, that is location factor rating method that can be used for both manufacturing firms as well as service firms. Didn't we? We discussed location factor rating method in the class. I hope you remember it. you have written down something on that? I did. Then we did. And then I might have requested you to work on some homework as well. You know, for a manufacturing firm, we did it. So that did I ask you to work on a example, like for hospital? Are you going to say no? අන්තිමට බලන්න ලියාගන්න නැද්ද කියලා? තේරෙනව නේද? ඔව් service example එකක් හිතන්න like hospital and then try to demonstrate how you are going to use location factor rating method steps. I remember that because I didn't explain that to the other group. You know, neither. That's the owner. Right. If so, I think we have completed most of everything. Now, if we particularly pay attention to services and service operations, service facilities, now services of course can be of different types. Services can be of different types, but mostly we consider about the customer services. So services provided to individuals, mostly. Customer services. So, I mean, services aimed at individuals or consumers. Like banks, restaurants, supermarkets, hospitals, schools. What is the main characteristic, main factor relevant for all such facilities? Hello? When you think of businesses like restaurants and hotels, supermarkets, hospitals, banks, what is the common factor? Hello? What is the common factor? In such businesses, in such operations, customers come to the service providing institute, that facility, and get involved in the service and get the service done. Right? So those are customer services, customer oriented, customer services, where customers should be able to come and get involved in the service creation. Right? So for such, what factors to consider? Now you understood there are two main approaches to select the locations. One is called cost factors, and the other one is called revenue factors. For most of such services, hope you are able to understand, more than cost, they need to consider the revenue factors. Business should consider the revenue factors mostly when selecting locations for such service facilities. Write it down somewhere. It's clearly mentioned in the handout, but write it down somewhere. For services, retail services, professional services, right? Mainly considering the revenue factors, locations must be selected. Locations must be selected. Now, accordingly, these are the common factors relevant for such services. And here in slide number 20 also, a list of factors are mentioned. Just check whether you can understand. In selecting such locations, factors determining the volume and the revenue, that is mainly the access to customers, how conveniently customers access this location is the number one factor to consider. Do you agree? We consider it as convenient access, right? So from operation side, when we look for such locations, the main factor to consider is convenient access to customers. In textbooks, it's explained. Now, if you have to prioritize the three factors, most relevant factors for services, right? Number one factor is convenient access to customers. You know the other two. Number two is convenient access to customers, and number three also convenient access to customers. That is to highlight how important the factor is. Could be supermarkets, could be other retail outlets, could be banks, restaurants, salons, and many other. The success depends mainly on the convenient access. Convenient access. Do you agree? Do you think that's important? That is the most important part. Assume that you are going to manage a supermarket outlet or regional manager of retail chain, right? This is number one point that you should keep in mind. When you locate your outlets, those should be most appropriate places. Because depending on that, the revenue and the competitiveness of your firm will be different. In addition to that, all the other points mentioned here may be relevant. Purchasing power of customer drawing area, income levels, purchasing power, income levels of the customer drawing area. Because from one outlet, you may be catering to a particular geographical area. We call it the customer drawing area. So the customers, their income levels and their purchasing habits are known. And the other factors. Competition in the area, service and image compatibility with the demographics of the customer drawing area, living standards, and then of course living styles should be matched appropriately. Competition in the area should be appropriate for the business. Uniqueness of the firm's locations and the competitors' locations when it comes to businesses like hotels, unique sceneries, unique locations could be a winning factor. That is one. So as for restaurants and many other places. Physical qualities of the facilities and the neighboring businesses would also have an impact on the location. Operating policies of the firm, that means the operating hours, either 8 to 5 or 8 to 10, whatever, or 9 to 10, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. operating hours, considering the location should be selected. Is that clear? So for service operations. Here in this slide, I have taken it from a different textbook. They also highlight some other physical qualities of the location, like the parking facilities available, access to parking, security, lighting, appearance, visibility, right? The image of the location, so likewise. And to some extent, cost factors are also relevant for services, especially the rent. should also be considered. And then the management caliber around that place and operation policies as we discussed earlier, hours, wage grades and everything. So do you have an idea? I think so. Now compared to manufacturing facilities like factories or distribution centers, we'll locate in service facilities like branches, retail outlets, customer service centers. Some of these factors are given. Clear? So that is why the example and the take home or the homework given, thinking of a service organization like hospital. Was that a hospital? Hello? Was that a hospital you asked to consider or a hotel? Hello? No one has written it down. I saw, as I can remember, some of you written it down. After factor rating method, you pretend that you are listening and you pretend that you are writing down. Probably for a different class then. None of you have written it down. Cement factory. Right. That is a cement factory example. That would be the reason. Write down this sentence. Thinking, right, for the cement factory factories. Thank you for reminding me. At least you remember it. Assume that in the same manner, think you're going to establish a retail outlet, right? Your own retail outlet, like a retail shop. As an entrepreneur, as the owner of the retail outlet, what location factors you're going to consider? Identify list of location factors. Identify a list of location factors. Identify a list of location factors you would consider when selecting the most suitable location. The most suitable location for your new retail outlet. I can give you 2-3 minutes and can you quickly identify few factors and write them down. Don't ask from ChatGPT, what you should consider. We have discussed several things and identify at least 2 or 3 factors. Usually, how it happens if you want to start a new retail outlet, you would locate it. Maybe in the same venue that you live, close to the roadside. Right? You may start a new build and you will put up a new room and you will start the outlet. This is so. Otherwise, you will go to your relatives, your friends, your wife's relatives, and look for a friendly place that you can rent out at a low price and start it. This is good. Usually, people are like that. But as people who know about the importance of the location, what are the key factors you are going to consider? List down key factors. At least two factors. You must be clear now. Our objective is to find the most suitable location for our operations. That is not the place available for us, not the money that we have, right? But mostly finding a location that is most appropriate for our operations. So what are the key factors you would consider? Have you identified you? You have a point, I guess. What you would consider? Easy access to customers. Easy access to customers. That's an important point. So how do you assess it? Easy access to customers. It should be close to a residential area. Is that important? Yes, because at least we can target those customers there. It should be close to a residential area so that customers can conveniently approach your place. Good. Is that important? Living standards of the people living in that area. Is that important? Yes. Living standards. So you as a businessman should assess. You analyze and assess. Okay, are they fitting with my business? Like, will they come and buy from me or any other small boutique? So you have to assess the living standards. And for that, what are the key factors you would consider? The income levels, right? Plus their purchasing habits, living standards, and living styles. So you have to seriously consider before selecting a location. That is right. So living standards of the people. What else? Transport system. Is that important for a business like supermarket or a retail outlet? Transport system. What do you think? Transport. You mean to say the public transport system? Public transportation facilities? Okay, is that important? Could be, isn't so? If you are aiming at the general public, right? So middle to low middle to middle income family, most of them use the public transportation. Public transportation. If your location is close to bus stops, right, or stand or station, you can easily attract good number of such customers. Understand? But what if you are aiming at middle and above middle class families or high end class? Does the public transportation matter a lot? No, not more than that. But parking facility. Can customers park their vehicles close to the outlet and visit the outlet? So that is very important. Convenient parking facility. That's a main factor. Very good. Convenient parking facility, especially for supermarkets and all. Parking is very important because the target market is somewhere middle to upper middle to upper. And so they have their transport facility. So that is why around the outlet enough parking space. Such outlets are more popular, more convenient. Good, but we need to consider rent also. We can't totally forget. We should consider the rent or the cost of the place as well. Right? So to import, so what else? Good, that is my idea. Ah, the level of competition. Do we have similar type business close by? Competition of the area should be considered. Competition of the area should be. What is more appropriate? Less competition or high competition? Less competition. One might think with no other similar type businesses around, right, you'll be able to attract more customers and operate easily. Yes, less competition would be appropriate for a business like retail outlet. But can you prevent others putting up their branches, their outlets close by? No, you can't control. If you want, you will have to buy over the other places. That you can't do. Right? So, well, we need to consider the competition, but that is something we can't control. In fact, there is a location strategy called that we call clustering. Right? Clustering is a kind of new location strategy, right? Which means, and I have explained that the other day also, no? So clustering is all about locating similar type businesses close by. Right? Clustering. This is a global accepted practice. All similar type businesses in one area of the city, or the entire city is known for that. Such products, such industries, and all. A typical example in India, what they cite is IT related services, IT related businesses in Bangalore. And in US, Silicon Valley is known for all the financial services and the related services in the world. Known place. So like different countries, maybe for entertainment, maybe for financial related, maybe for manufacturing, industrial, technology related. There are areas designated for that. That's called clustering. Even at a small scale, in each country there are known areas. Say for example, in Sri Lanka, if you want to buy some vehicle spare parts, within Colombo, Panchikawat area, whatever the stuff you want to buy, you can find it from there. That's clustering. If you want to buy some ceramic items, bathware items, now the area, right? Now the area, right? Clustering. So likewise. So the competition is an important point, but you have to decide whether to be away from competition or whether to be with the competition. So such strategies. That depends on your strength, your strategy, how you are going to operate and move. So you may have seen most of the time supermarkets. We have in Sri Lanka, there's 4-5 daily supermarket channels, like Amco, Teals, Cargills, Satos and all. You may have seen in a city, most of them are located close by. And that's a strategy. In a way, clustering so that they can attract each other's customers. So as restaurants, KFC, Pizza Hut, McDonald's is no longer there, but other restaurants, likewise, competition. Very good. What else? What are the other points? How about transport facilities? I mean, infrastructure facilities, are they important? Road, access roads and all, they're very important for within our. Can you see a pattern? Now, when you look at, let's say, a supermarket outlet, in which side of the road, when you come from the main city, in which side of the road most of the time most popular supermarket outlets are located? What is your observation? Right hand side or left hand side? When you come from main city, any observation? Yeah, it seems yes. Right. Most of the fields, especially fields, they have found out most appropriate location, and then to some extent, targets also. They have also made that choice carefully. Right? When customers come from the main city side, their branches are located in the left hand side. They are more popular. It's a location decision. And can you guess the reason why? Yeah. Most of the customers they aim at, they are middle income earning families and middle and upper right? Especially middle income. So they have their vehicles and most of the time they do their groceries, they purchase their items on their way back from offices. So that they can conveniently park the vehicles and but such locations are more preferred. Can you understand how carefully they have analyzed those patterns? Right. So as for restaurants and many others. So copyright. Use your experience, your observations as well to understand how carefully they decide the location. When you plan your business, until you consider all those aspects. Although we know location is a key factor that determines success. Unfortunately, let's say small scale businesses and all, they start the business in a convenient place available for them and wait till customers come. They don't come. Why should they come? They can't see where business is, and they can't see what the product is, what the service they offer. Right? For that, they need to locate the business at the most suitable place. They are such. They become successful faster. Hope you understand it. Now, coming to the last part of it, we understood location as a long-term decision that we don't change. Once the location is selected, building is established, everything is arranged. Now we can't change the location. However, due to some reasons, after some time, maybe after a few years, businesses will have to change the locations. We call it location changes, or technically we call it relocation strategies. What is it? Relocation. It's well accepted. Relocating facilities. Due to various different reasons like these, plus many more. But we can't expect to do such changes every week, every month, or every year. However, if the existing location is no longer advantageous for the business, it's perfectly all right. It's perfectly all right to make a decision to relocate. What is it? Relocate. These are few reasons. Can you understand them? When a firm looks for greater capacity, if the existing place is not enough, better to relocate. When the raw materials require changes, right? Earlier, let's say Damro heavily depend on natural timber to manufacture their furniture items. Now they use processed timber that are imported, that are processed separately. So that now they can locate their factories in more appropriate place, not necessarily close to timber sources. Can you understand it? So like when the demand is changed from one place to another, right? Locations can be changed. Could be within a country, one rural area to a main city, or from a country to other countries. They have changed the locations. When a business plan to introduce a new product for which the materials, suppliers, and other facilities needed are different, of course they can plan, they can think of a new place, new location. No need to continue from the same place. And how about the other one? Of course, due to changes of political conditions, economic conditions, businesses take decisions to change the location, relocate. During the last 5 to 7 years, what has happened in Sri Lanka? Good number of companies, some group of companies even, right? Not necessarily political conditions, but economic conditions. We are still having that issue, like foreign exchange shortage, inflation, economic instability, right? So most of the factories supply to the global market, right? They have changed the locations. They have relocated from here to Bangladesh, from here to Pakistan, or from here to Indonesia or Myanmar, relocated due to political and economic conditions. And for that, the electricity prices here, electricity cost has been one of the main reasons. Although we don't understand it, businesses, especially manufacturing businesses, most of the factors, most of the businesses decide it on wage rates. Right? The second most important factor is the energy cost. Can you understand it? So sometimes they change the locations, relocate their facilities, considering such changes. And of course, natural disasters like tsunami, earthquakes, or landslides, flood, fire, right, could also change host locations. Right? So that's it. What did we talk about here? Facility location. That means selecting the most appropriate places for operations facilities. We discussed how important this decision is, and then of course what factors to consider. We call them location factors. We identify a process to do that. Do you remember? We identified a process to make location decisions. Step 1, 2, and 3. Right. And then we identified different location evaluation techniques. We discussed one in detail. Towards end, we identified for manufacturing what are the key factors. For services, how that is different. At the end, we identified for relocating what are the main reasons. And accordingly, get a location advantage for operations for the entire business. So there will be a question coming from this topic that you should be able to answer. Right. We'll give you 2-3 minutes to go through that remaining the handout and ask any questions if any. Shall we take a 10 minutes break and come back quickly? Morning, what again? I'll start by 1:20. Sorry, that's not completely. Bisa aku itu berarti menonton. Oh, ini kawasan. Dari kita ada semua orang ada profesor yang benar-benar isu kreatif tapi yang personality itu oh oh at least for those these for yourself and color creating.
So you need to consider the quality of the product
no need to consider all the information here, right? Especially in some questions, we need to get the answers. You have to how to summarize everything. So for the assignment, you have to focus only on the capacity related information. Perfect you try to ask whatever the questions like when you prepare the report, giving the information with the capacity. Practical is like with one subjections, then the answer so that you don't have enough time to ask more capacity specific questions. So be mindful of that as well. Then you will it's difficulty appearing. How to draw the attention to the main concern here is relation terms, challenges, and what they are planning in future to overcome this. Main time ask some other related but different keep the focus and capacity. Whenever they give answers, let them go. Somehow try to get back to the main focus. That is capacity. These are very good questions that shows how broad your expectations are. That's really nice. Make sure that you manage it. Otherwise, you will overload it too much. Maybe any other support like skills or some information or like that. This sort of thing. Good luck with that. Well, I hope you have this handout with you. Only the soft copy. There was a delay from my end. You have this handout with you. You'll have to time to time refer the handout. You don't have to write down all the points here in the handout, but other details you have to write down. So keep a separate piece of paper. Refer to the slide number and write down information as needed. There will be a question from this topic also. You should be able to understand it within the classroom itself. That no need to worry at the end. Right? It's a process selection decision. Process selection. Now, when it comes to this process, that is an important, I would say, most important term in operations management. Did you hear me? When we study operations management, this could be the most important term that we use in operations management. What is it? Process. There are different process-related decisions. We have completed something called process design or process engineering. We completed it, and another important area related to process selection. So in this topic, we try to understand what this decision is, why that is important. Process selection, what is that, and why that is important. Its strategic importance and operational importance also. Strategic importance should be understood by all the students here, all the management, operations management students here. You'll understand later there are different what it is, and then there are different process types. Selecting them based on their characteristics and all. So you will be able to compare those process types for manufacturing, for services, and where to use which one. That is what we try to cover in this topic. That is the content we are going to cover. Now, we are going to talk about that decision called process selection. And prior to that, just tell me, is it clear to you what we mean by a process in operations management? What is a process? Well, there are two types of organizations we study in operations management. One is manufacturing organization and the operation side of it, and service organizations, the operation side of it. I hope it's very clear to you all now. In manufacturing organizations, those processes are used for what? To produce products or services? Products. In manufacturing organizations, operations processes are used to produce products, whereas in service organizations, create and deliver services. So whatever the institute, whether that's a manufacturing organization or service organization, what we mean by a process? What is a process in operations management context? What is a process? Well, a process is a set of activities, or let's say a set of tasks. Isn't so? A process comprises of a set of activities, a set of tasks, right? And such activities or tasks or tasks which should be completed in a sequential manner. So that is the second point. Right. What is a process? A process is a set of activities, set of tasks that should be completed in a sequential manner. Is that clear? So to produce products, we have manufacturing processes. And to create and deliver services, we have service processes. We have service processes. I don't see like any of you are writing it down. So how you are going to memorize it? It's not there in the handout. because by now you should have this idea, but when I asked, no one responded. Since most of you are coming from accounting, audit firms, or many other financial services that you involve, so you may be familiar with some processes involved in service creation and service delivery. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Right? You know the steps, activities, tasks that you complete to create and deliver the service. Like when you get an audit engagement from a particular client, what steps you should complete in the process, creating and delivering that service. Anyone working for a bank, you know what different processes are there to create and deliver different services. So in the same manner, for manufacturing industries, in producing products, they have processes. Now one of their groups, they are going to examine, they are going to study we call it pre-manufactured concrete products. Is that? What is it? Patching plant. So is that what they call premix or something? Or ready-made concrete solutions and all. And then how about these ready-made concrete solutions that they already manufacture those concrete slabs and all, and then deliver to the place and fix them? No, it's not that, but just mixing and supplying them. Okay. For various different projects they involved in. So batching plant. So as a part of other operations, they have this batching plant to mix things and then supply to the projects. Good. So that involves in a manufacturing process. They produce a product. What are the other factories you have seen? What are the other processes you have seen in manufacturing? Tea factories you may have seen. They use different processes. Have you been to garment factories that they use to produce garment items? Have you seen processes to manufacture garment items? By any chance, have you been involved in some processes to produce something in your life? Hello? What do you think? Do you use processes to produce something? So what they are? Have you produced something? Have you engaged in processes? Yes or no? Yes. If you think for a while, on day-to-day basis, may not be for commercial purpose, but you also involved in processes to produce things. Am I wrong? So assume that you make a cup of tea for yourself. That itself is a set of activities that should be performed in a sequential manner. So at the end of the process, you get your cup of tea. So what you have done is a process. Is that clear? if you bake a cake, right? You have a set of tasks, step by step. You should complete it in a sequential manner. When you successfully complete it, you get the tasty cake baked nicely. If you are good at sewing, you know, take the materials, fabric, cutting it according to the design, fashion or the design, and complete each part of it and complete the garment. A process. Nothing new. On day-to-day basis, what we do, we engage in processes. Compared to them, what we see in factories, the only difference is they perform the same process again and again and again to produce products in a commercial for a commercial purpose. And they heavily depend on technology and machinery and experienced workers. That is the only difference. Can you understand it? So that is one. So processes are common everywhere that we see. Now, when you think of producing products, every new product, when that is designed, they need to design a process as well. And that is called process design. With every new product, they need to design a process, we call it process design. We have already discussed it. This is also known as process engineering. Also known as process engineering. So identifying step-by-step process how we can manufacture this product. Right? So services, this is called service design, service process design, service process engineering. Understanding? That is different and that we have already completed. In this topic, we are going to cover another important area, a key decision in business. We call it process selection. That is different from process engineering. Process selection is all about deciding the way these production activities are organized. How such activities will be organized. It's a strategic decision to make, not a technology decision or a tactical decision. It's not about step-by-step process, how we produce it. No, it's about how to organize those activities, which is strategic. However, when a new product is planned, new production facility is designed, they'll have to make this decision, right? It's applicable when new products are being planned. And also, when any periodical changes are required for the factory due to could be technological changes or due to equipment changes or due to competitive pressures. The way of production activities are organized can be changed, and that decision is called process selection decision. Is that clear? I don't think that you can understand it. So try to relate that to your understanding. Write down some important terms. Right? Not the one it is given here, but how you understand. So that is one. How production steps are organized in an operation facility. when factory managers or other operations managers making these decisions, process selection decisions, they have to consider various different factors. Plus, once they make this decision, that will affect on other operations management decisions. That is what explains here. Process selection has major implications for various different operations decisions, such as the capacity planning, layout, equipment, and even the design of work systems and etc. etc. So that decision has to be decided carefully. It's strategically important decision. What you see here in the slide number 4 is an illustration. So this decision is what we are going to discuss. That should be decided by carefully considering various different factors relevant, especially the capacity, and then of course other factors like forecasting, product design, and technology and technological changes and everything, right? So considering them, this decision should be decided. Once that is decided, that affect consequently on the other operations management decisions such as the required facilities, required equipments, how they are arranged, layout, and then of course work design, what each worker is doing. So this is what we are going to talk about. It is a strategic decision. What is not clear? What else you need to know? What is not clear? Clear? Process selection, a strategic decision that operations manager should make that determines how production activities are organized. That affect on that is mainly decided with the capacity decision and many other factors like forecasting, product design, technology changes, and many other. What we mean by forecasting here? What we mean by forecasting here? The demand forecast for your products or service. What would be the future demand? That is one main factor to consider when deciding it. If you are expecting a higher demand, growing and higher demand in future, accordingly you have to select the process type. If your forecast tells you no, the demand requirements would be still at low level, then appropriately you have to make the process. It's a management decision. It's a management decision depending on the future demand, current and future demand. What do you understand by this? Process selection should be decided based on the product design. Now, for example, say there are basically two types of product designs. Let's say sometimes firms may produce standardized products or customized products. Hope you can understand it. Customized products. What does that mean? Yeah. Customized product designs. Yeah. Well, what they we are going to produce the product according to the requirements of customers. We don't have a standardized product, but what we produce is customer required product. So the product features, characteristics, dimensions, what we call product spec. Product specification is customized. So if if a business is providing customized product, the suitable product process type is different. What is the other one? Standardized product. Standardized product, which means we have a standardized design, ignoring customer requirements and changing preferences and all, we provide the same and offer to the same. Offer the same to the customers. Standardized product. So if that is the case, you need to use different process type. Clear? Based on the product design, management will have to decide different process types. And of course, to produce the same product, there are different technologies. Can you understand it? I hope so. Now think, you want to bake a cake at home. You may depend on the basic technology you have, right? And make it by hand and small equipment or the very basic equipment you have. So that is the technology you have. But if you go to parents, how they make cake, maybe the same process, but technologically different. And if you go to Tiara factory, they are also making cakes, right? But their technology is different. So depending on the technology used, technological changes and all, there are different process types to produce, of course, same product. That is the difference. So it's about selecting the appropriate process type that we will identify later. And accordingly, the capacity will be determined. You know the capacity now, operations capacity. That means what we can produce, the maximum volume we can produce. Right? That and this tightly linked. So, deciding how to organize the production activities according to these constraints, requirements is what we call process selection. Once this is decided, right, it would impact on many other operations decisions such as this. What type of facility is needed? That means buildings and premises and all. And then what type of equipment is needed? That means machinery, equipment, tools and all. And then how we should arrange the layout. We will discuss it separately as a topic. Layout. That means physically we are to keep these machinery and all, production steps and all. Right? Resource arrangement. So depending on the process type, layout is different. You will understand as the next topic. So as this, what we call work design or work system design. So work system design. That means now to produce product, if we use workers, especially manual operations, right? We have to decide what each worker is doing. Right? How work system is arranged. That depends on the process type. So that is why we consider this as a strategic decision, because that should be decided after carefully considering many factors, many situations. Once we decided this affects on many other operations decisions. Managers should be carefully decide this. Managers should carefully decide this. In our subject operations management, this is considered as a very important topic. Right. I hope things are clear to some extent now. For manufacturing operations, we have manufacturing processes. For service operations, we have service processes. Now, for different situations, different process types are used. In textbooks, they are explained in different ways, using different classifications, process classifications. But the one that we are going to discuss here is based on basically two criteria. Process related two criteria mentioned here. Right? We try to identify process classification here. So what are the two main criteria we are going to use? For this, we call it process volume and process variety. You have a role to play. You will have to understand. What I can do is just explaining it. Is it simple? Is it clear? This classification is based on two criteria, two process related criteria. One is process volume and the other one is process variety. I will explain these two after introducing you different process types. I will explain these two. However, using these two criteria for manufacturing, there are these 5 different process types recommended. We are going to discuss what they are and their characteristics with examples and understand where to use which one and why. So for manufacturing, there are 5 different types. For services, there are 3 different types. Clear? So we are going to discuss their characteristics, the advantages, where to use which one with examples. So there will be questions like what we mean by process selection decision, why that is important. So you'll be asked to briefly describe these characteristics. So compare them. So likewise. So our content today will help you meet in them or answering them. Clear? ඉතුරු 7 දෙනා කොහෙද ඉන්නේ කියලා මම ගණන් කරන්නේ. මෙතන පේන්නේ නැතුව ඉන්න 7 දෙනා කොහෙද ඉන්නේ කියලා මම ගණන් කරන්නේ. ඔන්ලයින් නැතිනේ. Right. Based on these two criteria, processes are classified. One is called process volume. Very simple to understand that. In terms of volume, processes can be classified. Volume, output size, quantity. Right. Some processes can produce a large quantity, very large. Whereas some processes can produce lower than that but large, high volume. Some processes volume is medium, whereas some other processes of which the volume is very low. That is one criteria to classify processes. Hope that is clear. If you don't understand this, you don't understand the rest. So depending on volume, we can classify processes. Clear? The second criteria we use here, another process-related criteria, we call it process variety. Meaning, whether the process can produce same product or different products. Right? If they can produce the same product, variety is low. No variety. Variety is low. There can be some processes, they can produce few varieties, few items. Whereas some processes can produce different variety of items, medium or even high. So that is the second criteria. Right? Is that clear? Volume, that is the output volume, the quantity. Variety, different products. Now accordingly, this is how manufacturing process types can be lined up, can be presented, can be mapped. I have taken this from a textbook, so you should be able to see this and explain it. These are the two criteria: process volume, to this side low volume, to the middle moderate volume. Are you following me? To this side high, volume high. This is how the processes are lined up. Low volume, project processes. Low to moderate, jobbing processes. Moderate volume, batch processes. Mass processes, moderate to high volume. And the final one, continuous processes, extremely high volume. Clear? This is how. We need to discuss their characteristics with examples and identify industries where we usually see them. Then we will be able to do it now. Clear? The same figure can be used to understand the variety. Variety, different outputs. Now, towards this side, low variety. Towards this side, high variety. Can you understand it? Now, continuous, low variety. That means standardized products. Low variety means standardized products. And then of course mass processes, again low to moderate variety. Low, fewer products. Batch processing, moderate variety. Different outputs are possible but within the range. Jobbing, moderate to high. And the project processes, variety is extremely high. Clear? I think so. So as for services, volume low, professional services, volume moderate, service shops, volume high, mass services. Service processes. In terms of variety, variety low here, standardized service. Variety moderate here, service shops. Variety high here, customized services. Professional services. Discuss. I hope the basic idea is clear now. Right. So time to time, businesses have to decide, it's a manufacturing firm, out of these 5, which process type is more appropriate for them? why they have to rationalize it. So is from out of these five. So we are going to discuss it as a group work. You can come together. Right? You also can go in there. Right? Especially to understand these manufacturing process types. I will explain the services later. What you should do is we have around 40 minutes or 40 to 45 minutes. Come to one group and maybe we have 10, right? Anyway, we have 6 members, right? So 2 persons can study one process type. Let's say project. What is it? What are the main characteristics where you can apply this likewise? So as a group, you may study these different process types. You will be initially given 15 minutes. No, 10 minutes enough. 2 members. So only one, right? The 2 persons will study only one process type for 10 minutes. And you will be given additional 10 minutes. Then you can share your point with the other groups and explain them what are the characteristics of this process and where this is used for what type of situations likewise. I will support you to understand the difficult areas or gray areas if any. Clear? So come together as a group and divide the process types among each pair and study them. You can refer to the slides given here. In addition to that, you can use whatever the online resources available or other access, other data you have, other information you have, and understand what it is. More importantly, identify what it is and help others to understand it. Discuss and divide the processes among yourself. I am available here. If you have any doubts, I will come and help you. Talk to each other, please. Any difficulty or anything you would ask for me? What you are studying? Hello? What you are studying? Job in process. Okay? If you need to know anything, just ask. Find first and then ask. Continuous process. Then mass process. How about you? Studying continuous process. So join together. Join together. Right? So these four will be studying how many? Yeah. Uh, that is why we can, I mean, one group, one, two, three, four, five. All four groups studying the process. And you are studying that perfect your right, continuous processes, and then mass processes, and we need one group to study project processes. Which group? Right. So you look at okay. Difficult to compare. But you have to do a good job. You have to help us with the continuous processes. Any support you need from my end? Can you manage? I think we managed to find some information, right? Since we are short of time, let's start our discussion. And you can help us identify the characteristics and where they are used mostly, what are the advantages, right? When we use such process types and all, with some examples, that's great. I will also support this. From where we can begin? From where we can begin? Now, they look at that and accept it, right? So let's start from continuous processes, right? That's I mean, as you know, as we have found out, that's a unique way of producing that may not be appropriate everywhere. So, what have you found out? What are the main characteristics of this type of processes? And where we can see them mostly. Well, now listen to them, right? And I will also support them. What could you find? Something that you learn, just feel free to share whatever you. All is file, basically for management. Okay, go ahead.
It is done without any interruptions. The interruption, just interruption, it will lead to a high cost.
Right. Without interruption in the sense, I get your point. Without interruptions in the sense, such processes do not stop.
Full operation.
Full operations, like 24 into 7 24 into 7, such operations continuously operate. And that is why they are called continuous processes. As they correctly pointed out, no interruptions in between. Yes.
They produce high volume with low variety because one product, that particular is going to be last.
I see. Now, those are very important points, right? We will not get any other chance to understand it. So, this is used to produce high volume and fewer variety of only one type of product. Same product is continuous produced.
And these are done by the capital intensive.
Type of processes they are mainly highly automated processes that are mainly capital intensive. Minimum labor, sometimes zero labor. Right? Highly automated processes producing same highly standardized, no customization at all. Highly standardized.
So continuous processes are normally used like a oil refinery.
Okay. Okay. Mainly industries like oil refinery, like we also have some customer plant, transport 24/7, continuously operating to refine crude oil into petroleum products. That's a good example for continuous. Where else you see it? Chemical plants and all producing the same chemical using different materials, processing them continuously. Generating electricity is another typical example. Maybe coal power or maybe hydropower plants, right? Or diesel power plants, whatever it is, they run for 24 hours because stopping resulting low efficiency issues. They cannot stop it as they want. It takes few hours to few days to stop. And again, to restart it takes longer time. Right? Such plants do not stop usually. Great.
It will produce a uniform output.
Uniform, as you mentioned earlier, uniform in the sense highly standardized. Highly standardized product that cannot be customized. Continuous. Now, what do you think? To deploy this, to use this technology, to use this type of processes, the demand for product, right? So what type of demand the product should have as per your observation? Low demand, moderate demand, or high or very high demand for the output? This is suitable for products that has very high demand. This is suitable for products that have very high demand. Otherwise, they won't be able to sell the output. Not for all the products, but very high demand, and that of course that they are identified standardized products. Standardized. What else you have?
Some advantages in this.
Okay, great. Okay.
Advantages in this high efficiency because without interruption, production we can produce faster production.
High efficiency, productivity is so high.
And also cost effective. Cost effective in the sense is low, low operational cost.
Okay. No operational maintenance or operational cost will be made low, but they have a point.
Yeah. Then say for the disadvantages, because the initial cost starting of the cost is high. Other disadvantage.
That is also very good observation. Right? To initially start up the process, right? Because these are capital intensive processes, high tech processes, highly automated. So initial investment requirement is extremely high. Because we need automated processes and big factories and all. That is initial. That is why initial investment is high. Very good observation.
The when speaking about disadvantages, complex maintenance cost. So lack of flexibility because we cannot change into another system because there's a big flow production.
Yeah.
We use it only for product or particular product, can't use it for
Another product. Yeah. So the flexibility is very much limited here. Other production process types, they are very much flexible. You will see later. But this is less flexible or somewhat inflexible approach. Very difficult to use it for some other product, only for the same product. We have to use it. Great. They have done a very good. They have done a justice to the selection. Isn't so? Shall we give them a round of applause? Good job. Great. Anything else you want to know about continuous processes? You know examples now, characteristics and all. That's right. Okay. Okay. In fact, she did. Okay.
Against us. Yeah, against us.
That's right. Okay. Do we need to ask any questions about continuous processes? I think we have a simple idea. Right? Find more details if you need. Google, a lot of information is there. Fine. Or even ask for that, they will explain. Because, and for learning purpose, using generative AI is exploratory, right? That's recommended. Because no need to worry about everything, right? You can just ask the question and get the answer. That is to study. Or true. Right? In exam. You just ask, they will explain most of everything, accurate information with examples, with real life examples, that you take a few hours to find. With a kid, you can get. Okay. So, what is the next? Shall we come to your process? What is that? Batch production. Right. Batch. What are the basic details you have with you to share with us about batch production?
Batch production is the variety and volume both are moderate.
Okay. Variety and volume both are moderate. Both are moderate because as you see here, right, batch somewhere there. Volume moderate, variety moderate. So what else?
But moderate variety means variety is lower than jumping and is higher than mass production.
Right, okay. Because it's in between these two. So variety is lower than jobbing, but higher than mass processes. So some few items, right? So few variety can be produced using batch production. Great. What else? How about the volume? That is also moderate. Just feel free. Okay. Right. So flexibility is okay. 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 Right now, earlier we talked about the flexibility is low there, right? Variety flexibility or the product change flexibility is very much limited in continuous, but here batch production is known for flexibility. Right? So they can produce different products as they correctly pointed out now at garment factory. When they process as batches, one time they manufacture one design, let's say even the color, they continuously produce, they process items as batches in great color features, right? Same design, same size, continuously as a batch they produce, let's say 2000 items as a batch they process. Completing and the next batch they will start with blue color for some other. So like flexibility is there. And even not only the colors, the design can be changed from batch to batch. Sizes also, different sizes in our biscuits factories, in the cream cracker production line at CBL. When they produce one batch, that is for medium size packages, right? And then they stop it maybe after a few hours, 1 or 2 days, they continuously produce it and stop the batch, discontinue the batch, and start a new batch, maybe for small packages, or maybe it's a family size, and that continues a few hours. Stop and start producing another. So likewise, they can change the product, they can change the sizes of the packages, and still produce high efficiency levels in the batch production, which is the most commonly used process type to produce consumer products. Most of the products, we call them personal care products or step changing products, and fast moving consumer goods, toothpaste to shampoo to whatever other products, what we call CPGs, consumer packaged goods, right? Biscuits to shampoo to grocery items packaged, or yogurts to milk powder to beer to soft drinks, whatever packaged goods, consumer packaged goods. CPGs are manufactured mostly using batch products. And that's the most commonly used technique. So that we can produce a variety of items and relatively moderate volume as well. And how about the production cost? Per unit cost when items are processed as batch. Slightly higher than continuous production because of some inefficiencies and
They have to incur a cost to change from one batch to another batch.
Wow, interesting. You have found out that as well. When you stop one production, one batch, and start another one, they have to change the production process. Now, even your organization, when you visit, you will identify. We call it setup, changeover. That takes time. When you stop one batch, move to the other one, you will have to change the product. We call it setup time or changeover time. That will be cost. But continuous, no. That is one main issue, an inefficiency here. And that is why they say, because of all these inefficiencies, per unit production cost is slightly higher than. But still, since they are processed as a batch, there are some economies of scale, some savings, some efficiency, so that they can produce at lower cost as well, relatively lower cost. And that is why that method is selected for most of the products. Great. What else is that?
The main advantage is customers will have varieties to choose.
Okay.
And also same equipment can be used to the varieties with slight changes.
Slight changes, same machinery, same line can be used, rather than idling. Resource utilization is very important for operations management. Resource utilization, productivity would be higher when we use batch production. Those are key advantages when we use batch production. No wonder that is why this is most popular method for production. Right? That is the most commonly used technique method for production. Right? And how about the labor intensive or capital intensive? What do you think? These processes are more labor intensive or capital intensive? Labor intensive in the sense that more labor is used or more machinery is used? Both. Right. Some products may still be produced using the labor that we see, and even if we have the technology, we can use the machinery and automated processes also. Program processes which are more efficient, right? More efficient, but both options are available. Traditional industries still use labor-intensive processes, like garment factories, shoe manufacturing, even now let's say electronic appliances, assembling and all, partly manual or semi-automatic. They do deserve a good approach. Next. Hello. Shall we quickly compare that with the job shops so that we can see the slight difference between job shop and that, because these are more or less similar. There is slight difference is there. Who are studying job shops? Job shops? Job shops or job processing, right? Because they are more or less similar, isn't so? Right? Can we explain what is unique in jobbing processes or job shops compared to batch processing? Small scale production. Right. One key difference is that they are also producing in batches, but the size of a batch is small. Few products, and that's why we call it lot production. Lot, smaller than a batch, but still a batch. Could be 2 items, 5 items, 10 items. Volume low. Size of a batch is small. That's a good observation. But in batch production, size of a batch is relatively big. Good. What else you see?
So to involve more high-skilled workers
Right.
rather than the
batch production. Do you need any explanation on that? They have noted compared to batch processing. Jobbing processes are more labor-oriented. As you see here, to complete such, we need skilled jobber, one person who can handle many tasks, or a team who can complete different tasks. Right? Each product may require different processing steps. Those are mostly labor-oriented. Very good observation. But there are now certain facilities, high-tech products and all, they provide. How about customization or standardization? What type of product they offer? Highly customized. Highly customized. Each order, whether they produce 2 items, 5 items, 50 or 100, whatever, right? Each order is customized. And that is why they deploy this process. Great. Good. Some examples or other details you found out? Per unit cost is higher. Can you give the reason? Can you explain the reason why? Why products are manufactured using jobbing processes? Cost is high. Okay, producing small number so that when we customize the product also, when we produce in small quantity, now there can be efficiency issues. Resource utilization and efficiency would be little lower. Right? Now you know in production and economics we use it something called economies of scale. When you produce large scale, there are savings. So that the production cost will be lower. But jogging processes may not have such advantage. Economies of scale. Little bit of advantage is there rather than producing one product. But it is not bigger like batch production or mass production or continuous. So that going into cost is higher. But we can also customize products. Great. But there is a right. Compared to many other process types, capital requirement, initial investment, and machinery and even technology requirement would be relatively simple and low. And you know why? This is why jobbing processes are often used in small to medium scale firms. Without big investments, latest technology, this is the way to produce products. Efficient issues are there, productive issues are there, but still they can produce it and supply. Say now, garment factories produce them as batches, garment factories. But a tailor shop, you go to a tailor shop and request them to, I need 2 shirts. I personally need 2 shirts. So how that person may complete my garment there, my suit there. Sometimes if I need a wedding suit, they will have to produce only one item. Unit production even possible in jogging. Or lot, I need 2 items. So what you do? Take the measurement individually and design according to the design I need, he will cut the fabric. Right. 1 or 2% involved in completing the entire garment from the beginning to the end. So 2 items will be processed together, but customized with minimum like sewing machine and other equipment, they can complete it. But for garment factory, big investment is needed. That's advantages plus disadvantages. Main disadvantage is what has to be. That's right. How about volume? Output volume would be relatively. Output volume.
Lack of labor.
Okay. Would result in a lot of problems. Especially skilled labor. Because they need workers who can complete many tasks. If you lose one skilled worker, right, recruiting one person and training them would be still challenging. Can you understand it? At a garment factory, that is easier because one person is doing only one task. If he can operate one machine, that's enough. But when you are managing things with the job shops, that worker may be completing different tasks, more skilled, or we call it multi-skilled. When you have some issues with the labor, anything else you want to know about it? I hope now you see the difference between batch and job shops. Both are using batch processing, but here the size of the batch is larger, there the size of the batch is small. Could be even one product. Not even simple product, even complicated products are manufactured by job shops. Say for example, like aircraft manufacturing often deploy this technique. Assume now, from where they get orders, aircraft manufacturers? From airline services. Right. Usually they don't order one aircraft at a time. When they want to purchase, at least they order 3, 5, maybe 7, 10 even. Because then they can bargain for better rates. Right? As you know, one Singapore Airlines, they order, say, they are branded aircrafts, right? Unique designs, right? And branded aircrafts. Assume that they order 5 aircrafts from Airbus company, right? So they process all 5 together as a small batch, small lot. Then only they can get the production advantages. They arrange components for all 5 together and they assemble all 5 together as a small batch. When they get another order from Qantas, maybe for 3 aircrafts, the other design is different and the assembling is different, then they will separate. So even to such, this technique is great. You also deserve a good round of applause. Thank you for sharing your. Now we have project processing. What is that? And what is the uniqueness, as you understand? That is the main characteristic. Project processing. Variety is extremely high, which means each time you produce different outputs, variety is extremely high. To an extent like each product is highly customized. So we call them one of a kind product. Each product is unique. One of a kind. One of a kind. Next time, they will start from design and then produce finished one item. One of a kind product. So that is the main characteristic there in terms of variety. And then you say in terms of volume, extremely low. More often, it's only one product we produce. Right? How many outputs? One at a time. Such we got project. What else we have talked about? Highly customized output is produced. For project processors, that is time for starting point and ending specific. Other processors, the quantity is specific, the output is specific and all. But here, more than anything else, the processing time is specific, within 3 months, 3 whatever. So they need to complete the project process within a specified time period. That is another main characteristic. It could be even a few minutes even, not only days or weeks. Some projects can be within a few hours, 5 to 10 to 25 to 30 hours, they need to complete produce one of a kind of product. This approach is used for services also, but we discuss it under project, manufacturing. So finally, we should have a tangible output like a product. Otherwise, the same is used for event planning, for main functions, right? These are also projects, but basically manufacturing we consider it as output, tangible output. What else you want? What does that mean? Many different operational skills should be coordinated. Okay, they are producing a customized product. Each project is doing so that what resources needed, what activities to be coordinated, each time doing. So variety of tasks, variety of resources to be coordinated in a project. Unlike batch, right? In batch, you know the same process. It's slight changes as they mentioned. You can just adjust it and use it for some other product. But project cannot be coordinated managed like that. Thank you. Project activities cannot be coordinated like that. Right? And often these are managed by someone called project managers and project management team. If time permits, we will take it separately because project management is different from operations management. These are special type of operations. Right? That is called project management. So they are the planning, resource organization, implementation, completion, totally different. That requires project management knowledge more than operations management. What we discuss on operations management, maybe we have one for jobbing processes, batch processes, and then of course the next one that is mass processes and continuous processes. Project process management separate. That is project management. We'll have a bit of that. What else? Per unit production cost is high, extremely high. Can you justify why is that compared to even jobbing? Of course, batch, and then of course mass and continuous. The per unit production cost is extremely high. Per unit cost is high. Why is that? They need to coordinate different resources. What else? For different tasks in the project, they need to hire or they need to use high skilled labor, professional labor sometimes. Right? Of which the cost is high. Cost is high. Skilled labor, professionals sometimes you need to hire and use, unlike in mass, right? So they need to use professional labor, high skilled labor, cost is high. There can be some other reasons. Can you support them why in project processing cost is high? Output quality, output quantity is only one. So that whatever the expenditure, right, will come to only one output. That is the reason. Each time, yes, as if you are going to doubt, each time they have to start from design and they cannot repeat the same activity, and they will have to again start from zero. And so that efficiency is very low. Efficiency very low, highly inefficient. So as the productivity. How about resource utilization and resource utilization, machine utilization, workforce utilization? Any cases? Lot of wastages and efficiency is very low. Utilization is very low. Resource utilization. That is why the cost is high. Whether we use it or not, assume that construction is going on. Whether we use it or not, different tool, equipment, machinery, we need to arrange around the project site because we need to use them then and there as necessary. But they are not utilized fully. So we'll have to pay for machinery, equipment, labor that are not utilized. So utilization rates are lower for this. And as speaker, only one output is produced, that everything accumulates to the same. That is why. Good. All in all, what is the main advantage you identify? so easy. It's not so easy. Complex. Produce only one product, but lot of tasks to be coordinated. Right? Only produce one product doesn't mean that they can make decisions easy. Right? The product sometimes may be complicated. Like deliver first to husband who you are the one who is involved in constructing house. So a lot of issues to be solved, coordinated at home, right? And it's not so easy. Okay. Well, it is general, right? All the other processes also quality management is it is a must. Right? But here ensuring quality could be little challenging. But that's possible and that is great. If you have been to Colombo, have you been? They sometimes manufacture, build ships. Each ship is unique, designed in a unique manner. So you have to arrange all the work from zero to final stage and launch the ship. Each shipbuilding is a project. That is where you can see it. Since we are short of time, let's not read there, but last process type, we call it mass processes. That is the most recognized production step in most of the industrial sectors. So what are characteristics here?
Standardization, product are little or no variation, no customization.
Yes, that is true. Standardized products mostly fewer variety, but now there are exceptions. Sometimes we now use the mass processes to produce customized products, but traditionally they are used to produce standardized products. Fewer variety.
High volume.
Volume is high. That is the main characteristic. Higher than the batch processes, but lower than sometimes. Lower than continuous processes.
Automation and mechanization, machinery and automated system are extremely used.
Okay, for mass processes, more automation, more machinery, more technical, intensive processes are used.
Advantages of mass process, economic of scale, like high number of product units are increased, the cost per unit is increased. So,
Volume is higher, resource utilization is higher, efficiency is higher, and as a result of that, per unit cost is lower. That is the main advantage of this system.
it's efficiency use of resources.
We can ensure higher resource utilization. Machinery, production line, worker utilization would be high.
For example, automotive industry, car
Manufacturing, car assembly, very much depend on this technology. We call it mass processors, or simply known as assembly lines.
disadvantages, initial capital investment is high.
Initial capital investment is still high, sometimes close to continuous processes. Close to continuous processes, because they need to arrange everything from beginning to the end. I mean, these are more or less similar. Mass processes and assembly continuous processes. Only difference is mass processes will be stopped time to time, but continuous processes will continue forever. And 365 days. These are stopped time to time when they move. Even they change the assembly lines to produce few varieties, maybe color varieties, design varieties, that is possible. Here, I will standardize one. In fact, I will give you one or two information within a 2 minutes. This was initiated somewhere in 1920s, 1930s. By then, when this was introduced, this was considered as the second industrial revolution, because they started producing product in a mass scale with this interaction, but they call assembly line. You know, Industrial Revolution 1, that is after steam engine. After steam engine invention, so they started producing using machine power. But when it comes to 1920s, 30s, Ford automobiles initiated this concept. Some people assembly line, moving assembly line, based on an economic concept. You know that. That is the main concept in modern production economy. You know something called division of labor? Division of labor and then labor specialization. That is the concept introduced by Adam Smith. They deploy it here and develop these mass processes. Production process is divided into small parts and different workers are used to perform different small tasks. So repetitive work. Worker is doing the same thing again and again. So they become efficiency is higher, productivity is higher, output volume is higher. When they invented this, this is considered as Industry 2.0, second revolution. So they started using it in other industries also. Later, they become more efficient and converted into continuous processes. At which wave now we are? Industrial revolution. Which wave we are now? In 2024. Now we are in fourth revolution. Industry 4.0. This was Industry 2.0. After that, there was this digitalization part of it. Now we are in the fourth wave, digitalization plus machine learning and sensory control machinery and all. We are closing, we are approaching to Industry 5.0 in near future. That is in the world. We as a country, we need to expedite and capture those developments and move forward if we want to improve our operations. For that, at least we need to now touch upon this thing. That's 2.0. Mass processing. This is less than this thing, no one can. I think we run short of time, let's stop it there. I really appreciate everyone's time. I hope you understood the characteristics and analytics. Will cover the service processes very next time. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself.